what are the 4 things that you can do in 1 year that will make you a better doctor? If you get these things in line, it will be a success. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Today we're talking about my vision to be the CEO of my practice. And in that vision, I'm talking to other doctors. One of the doctors asked me a question: what would your goal be for me at the end of 1 year? That, my friends, is the topic of this episode. What are the goals I would have for an associate? What are the goals you should have for yourself at the end of this year? This is the Ultimate OD Podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Been doing a lot of thinking about the business, what I want to do, and my biggest joy that I have got is from being outside the exam room, from running the business, from coaching my staff, developing them, working with the other doctor, and trying to grow the business. I really love that. I like being able to have an impact, make a difference, run the business, and not have to trade my time in the exam room for money. Coolest thing ever. It's allowed me to have more things. I put off coaching. When I graduated from optometry school, I had the time period from, I think, May, opened the office in October. So I coached football for half the year. Loved every second of it, but I had to put my heart, soul, all my energy into the office. And 13 years later, I'm in a spot where I can coach again. And I've honestly thought about it every single year about wanting to be a coach. And I just never put myself in a position. Knowing what I know now, I really could have done it for the level I'm doing it at. I could have been doing it for a while. But, priorities, life, seasons, right? So as I see what it entails to be the CEO of the practice, that's very fun. To do that, I need to have another doctor. I have an associate that works 3.5 days a week, and I want to step back. I think I could go without seeing patients and be completely fine. However, to do what I want to do in terms of mentoring doctors, to be as good as I can be, I think I have to keep the pulse in there. I also have to stay sharp. And if I'm not seeing patients, I could see myself drifting 100% towards the business side and leaving some of the clinical stuff. Oh, I wouldn't develop it, and I'd lose some skills. So I don't want to do that. So at most 3 days a week, at minimum, maybe one day a week, about 20 patients. I'm right now 3 days a week. I'm gonna probably cut down to one to 3. I'm still working on it. Okay, but to do that, I need to recruit another doctor, and I put out an ad, and I actually got help from someone I think would be really stinking good. And as I go through those conversations, we're kind of talking through all the logistics. It's never straightforward, and I still have to do a little more vetting. I'm a little bit more well versed in what this process looks like this time. One of the questions that the possible future associate asked me was, at the end of a year, what would your goals be for me? And I'm like, oh, I have the answer to this. And in real time, I spout off, I kind of put it out there. And this is what I thought would be a great question for you guys. What are the 4 things that you can do in 1 year that will make you a better doctor? If you get these things in line, it will be a success. And I'm still working on them myself, but these are the things I said. Number 1, you have to realize that your most valuable asset in life, in everything, is time. Right? We don't know how much we have, and we spend it without regard, right? Time. And that goes for your time, in the office, outside the office, but time with patients. You have X amount of time, and as much as you want to be the best possible doctor you can be, there's ways to do it. I think I'm a very good doctor, but I can be very efficient. The patients that work with me feel they get a very good exam. They feel Like, I'm doing everything. I believe I am, but it's efficient, right? And running a business, time is money. How much time you spend with them is going to affect your revenue per fraction, revenue per hour, right? Time is valuable. Not saying you need to see like 50 patients in a day. Some practices, do that. I never want to do that. But 2 patients an hour, 3 patients here and there. Like, be as efficient as possible. If you block off a block of time, say with like IPL, and you block off like 2 comprehensive spots. Well, at our office, IPL, $1,600, we'll call it, for 4 sessions. So that's $400 a session. If you do $500 per patient, you block off 2 comps, $1,000 potential, and you're only getting 400. You need to value your time, right? Now you may say, my value in that situation is the joy it gives me. Great. You have done the cost benefit analysis and said that this joy that I get out of this is worth more than the revenue, right? But you start having too much joy in your life, and your revenue is not going to be able to sustain the business. Okay? So figure out how to be as efficient as you possibly can with your time. That goes for outside the exam room. When you're in your life, like, are you saying yes to every single thing? I'm very protective of my time. I get approached often to join the school board, to join this committee, to do this and that. And honestly, it's not a passion of mine. And the time it would be away from my family or my business isn't worth it to me. But I have been in situations where I've said yes a couple of times and regretted it like no other. Value your time. Get ready to say no more often than you say yes. Okay? That's one. So value your time. Figure that out. Number 2, you have to realize whether you're an associate or running a business, you have to learn how to lead. Okay? Staff invariably is going to look to you. And if you're not exuding leadership characteristics, confidence, they're going to run all over you. They're not going to respect you. They're not going to see you with the same authority, and you won't get things done the way you need them to be done, right? Also, that was more of a negative perspective, but the positive perspective is when you have a leadership mentality, people want to work harder for you. They want to make you reach your goals. They see you guys on the same team, and they combine shared vision. Share your wins. Share your victories. Leading the staff is crucial. Whether they're, you work for a company, they're your staff members, you see them here or there. Leadership is the most underrated, characteristic I see today. We need more leaders, right? There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but you need to learn how to lead. Now, that's from a staff perspective. How about your patients? When they're coming into our exam rooms from a most simple analysis of it, like your golden retriever, they're coming to you with questions. You are giving them answers. They need to believe that you are the one that will give them the answer to their concern, problem, or need. That's leadership. They have to believe in you. If you can't instill confidence, if you can't explain to them in a way that motivates them to do your treatment plan, you're a bad doctor. Period. Full stop. Right? Now, again, certain patients aren't going to do anything, but they have a motivation. There's things that they are doing with their time. They just see that those things are more important than what you told them to do. Right? You have to be able to lead. If you lead more than if more people follow you than not, you're going to be successful. Right? But leading is not just for the business owner. As an optometrist, you have to be able to lead. So many moving parts in what we do, and you are the most important part in patient care. Period. Full stop. Right? Techs can do this, that, but even if the techs give you a complete pile of, garbage, you're looking at that patient in the eye. You have the ability to talk to them. You can see, because you're a professional, that this doesn't make sense. I'm going to figure this out. I might have to check vision again. I might have to ask this question again. You are an expert. You matter. You got to lead. Lead your people around you. Lead your patients. It doesn't have to be a rah-rah speech. It can be from how you carry yourself. Okay? Number 3, you need to know the metrics, the KPIs that move the practice forward, that move your business forward. And when I say your business, I'm talking about you. If you are a doctor, even if you're an associate, you are your own business, right? The more you do, hopefully you're working on a production of some sense. The more production you get, the more your business thrives, right? What are the things that you're tracking? If you don't know what your KPIs are, the ones that matter, you have no way to know if you're getting better or getting worse. What are you trending? What do you need to work on? Right? You need to know those KPIs and know how to move the levers on them. Right? If I talk about this, this happens. If I forget to do this, I forget to do X. I forget to do that. Right? Know the KPIs. And this is something that we do at our office. I do it on a daily. Right? But we do it on a weekly basis as a whole office. We know the numbers that matter, and we share them as an office. In my department meetings, I talk about the KPIs. This is what we need to work on. How do we get better at this? Right? It directs everything that you're going to do. But if you don't have the right information, you're not going to make the right decisions. I just got I just got out of a conversation with one of my, financial people that says, if you don't have good data, you're not going to be able to make good choices. Right. But at the same time, I followed up with, if I don't understand the data and no one can explain it to me, it's useless as well. Right? So data is meaningless if you don't know what it's telling you. And if you can't make a strategic decision off the data, also useless. So that is a huge aspect to you being successful in practice, is knowing the data that matters and how to make decisions off of it. The last thing, and this is something that you hear me talk about often, kind of my thing as of now, but know your vision for where you're at. Like, I want to be the CEO. I want to be running the business. My associate, when I talk to her, she wants the biggest, baddest, best, elite dry eye anterior segment clinic. I love that. She is very capable of doing that. I think I can help a lot with some of the business aspects of that, but from a passion standpoint, I think she got me beat from patient care perspective. I'm right there with her. I'm going to be in there to get my hands dirty, right? I love that I get to be part of that. I wouldn't have put money into it if I didn't believe in it, but she's the one that's going to make that grow. That's her vision. I want that to happen as well, right? What's your vision? What do you want to do more than anything else? And I promise you, I've made so many better decisions for the business the past 2 years because I knew where I wanted to get to. I finally had that goal, that North Star that guided every single decision I was making. Have a vision. That's something that I preach to everyone as early and as often as possible. You need to think about this. You need to have that perspective. If you don't, what are you doing? Your boat without a rudder, just going wherever the wind takes you. Okay? So those are the 4 things I think you need to really focus on, especially if you're going into a practice, you're starting a business. The value of your time, how to lead, what are the KPIs that move the needle, and last but not least, what is your vision for your life, for your vision, for your practice, for you, right? That's what I got. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and I will leave you with this quote. It's a longer one, so I'll offer insight. I love to talk. Imagine that. Be delusional. Believe that you have the ability to make it work no matter what. Believe that regardless of what happens, it'll all work out in the end because that's what it takes. Anything and everything else leads to self-sabotage and failure. If you don't believe you have what it takes, then your subconscious will do everything it can to prove that you're right. You don't need to be special or talented. You don't need all the support in the world. All you need is to believe with every fiber of your being that you're capable of figuring it out, and sooner or later you will. Freaking love that. That's, you know, the juice right into my veins right there. Like, be delusional. Know that you're gonna figure it out. Reading a book right now about selling, and one of the things that they said is that the Tony Robbins, the Napoleon Hills, the I'm the best, Og Mandino, that those people that I'm the best, I'm the most amazing salesperson in the world is all fine and dandy, but when they do studies, people that put a little bit of question like, can I do this? Can I be the best? That put that little bit of question into the context, or put that question into the ether, into the equation, do better, because it makes them think about possible solutions, right? Just saying it is better than not at all. But asking the question, having the affirmative of like, yes, I'll figure this out. Sooner or later, I'm going to find a way. But asking the question makes you think. All right. So that's just something that I ran across. I love that mentality. Honestly, I think I tried to embody that. I have bad days too. I come home and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is all a mess. House of sand, right? Gonna crumble. But end of the day, I wake up the next day. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get up and go after it full steam ahead because I love what I do. Right? I am delusional in that sense. You need to be delusional as well. That's what I have for you. Dr. Lily out.